Okay. Oops. So welcome to our June call. Adina and Claudia and myself wanted to go over a few tips and tricks for getting your business rolling in June, which will then lead into a successful summer business as well. So the first thing is very exciting, our June announcement. So we have two new products that obviously launched yesterday, the charcoal bar and the mask. They are both available to order now, and I think that many of you have already ordered because I hear that there's a ton of orders that have come into the Canadian warehouse. So I'm sure we're going to sell out just like the US sells out every time they launch the charcoal bar. We will also be having two limited edition lip glosses that launch on June 20th. I haven't seen the colors, but they're going to be called Tara and Dahlia. So I'm guessing like a bricky brown color and maybe a rose pink color. We also have announced our incentive trip. So I'm sure all of you have seen the incentive trip will be to Bacara Resort in Santa Barbara, California. It looks amazing. And we also have our own Team Counter Beauty incentive that I have pinned to the top of our team page. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. Okay. So I was going to have Claudia do this slide if she wanted to show us.
Okay. I just walked out the door, dropping my children off. Honestly, I think what I've been able to do is I do a lot of texting and adding photos to it and just say, hey, I'm doing this order. Do you want in on it? It's like the hottest product right now. And this is sort of what it does, right? So mine have been more definitely one-on-one contacts and definitely posting. I know a lot of ladies have their own Facebook group page as well. Posting on there as well has really helped in getting out the info of this new product out. So that really, really helped, and the excitement of it too. So, and also even letting know, like, I mean, I think we talked about this last time, was that don't be afraid to offer something for somebody to book a social. So if that meant, hey, a charcoal bar is yours if you can have a few ladies over, it is worth doing. It's a little bit of money that you have to put up front to get that social, but think of the return on it and what your return on investment would be, but to have 4, 5, 6 ladies over versus that $30 bar that you got at 25% off, right? So I think that's worth doing. I really did the whole bulk order thing. For those of you who don't know, I moved from Toronto to Kelowna, so a lot of my base is actually in Toronto. So I found a person who's willing to dish out all these charcoal bars on my behalf in Toronto. And so I did a bulk shipment to Toronto, and I'm doing a bulk shipment to Kelowna. So that has really helped as well. And then again, last thing is making a big list of who you want to contact and make it a goal and keep yourself accountable to saying, as you reach out to those, maybe it's not 5 people a day, maybe 2 is the most that you can do, but write that down. And as you do it, cross out their name, put a check mark beside it and a happy face, and it'll feel really good, right? It's all about just doing it. It doesn't have to be the quantity. It's just about actually doing it, right? So instead of talking yourself out of actually reaching out to somebody because you're afraid of what the answer might be, I think it's more about just getting that yes or the no. You'll feel better either way, and getting out there, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I had a salon owner that was thinking of signing up, then decided not to, but I knew that she still might have wanted to do an event. So I actually texted her. I said, hey, we have an awesome charcoal mask that just launched. I really think it would be a great product in your salon. How about I come and do an event with some of your key clients, and then we can get you signed up to get a discount on the products. So it's reaching out, it's feeling the fear and just sending that text anyhow. And also doing your own social or open house with the new products. If you haven't even done one social yet, please, please, please book a social. You will be surprised at the response when people can actually see and feel and touch the products. Putting that lotion on their arm and the reaction is absolutely amazing because it just has such a different feel than the products that they have been used to using. So like Claudia said, it's getting into activity and reaching out to tons of people and offering to do a bulk order so they save on shipping. Just not being afraid, talking about the benefits of the charcoal soap and all of our products as well. One, like them trying one new thing will then lead to them purchasing more products down the road as well.
I totally agree with that. Also, the other thing that I love to do, I love adding something fun to it. If you're booking a social, then maybe a lot of people don't even know what a social is. I don't even say it's a social. I'm like, let's get a few girlfriends together, drink some wine, celebrate summer. I love theming things up. And we discussed this at our Kelowna meeting the other night on Tuesday. And we thought of just fun little themes of what we could call it instead of a social. And it might actually get people out to your place even easier. And one of my senior managers, Lori, she's like, 5 more days of packing lunches or something, like, or 5 more lunches or something like that. And that was really funny. And it was just an excuse to get together. Or like I have a pool, so I'm like beauties in the pool or something like that, right? Or we made it through another year of school, the school year. It had nothing to do with actually saying social. Yeah, if that makes sense, right? And women do want to get together and have an excuse to have some drinks and just kind of catch up, right? So I think if you can find a fun theme to it, it will feel a lot better for you, feel a lot better for them, and a little bit more casual as well.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a really good point. No one has any clue what a social is. So I always say, yeah, let's just have a few friends over, or let's do a little event with your friends, have some drinks, make it super casual. Otherwise it sounds like this big thing. Like social to me sounds like this event down in Georgia or something like tea and crumpets, I don't know, and big dresses. Okay, so those are some great tips. And then I just wanted to talk a little bit about charcoal. I know a lot of you have looked at the benefits already, but I wanted to give an overview. All of this information is available behind the counter, and I also posted all of these files on our team page. So if you're on our Facebook page in our team Counter Beauty group, if you go up to the top, you'll see there's a section that says files. If you click on there, there's actually a ton of documents that will help you with your business that I've uploaded, because I know behind the counter can be a little bit daunting sometimes. So I try to put the most important files, especially when we launch new products, in that section as well. So the charcoal mask is exciting. Can't wait to try it. It's $55, and of course you get your consultant discount of 25% off of that price. And it is meant for purifying, so a great treatment for congested skin. It works to gently exfoliate, draw out impurities, and soothe your skin. So this mineral-rich formula helps improve your skin's overall condition by refining the appearance of pores. I know many people want that. It helps to clarify the skin, removes excess oils and impurities, refines and smooths the skin, improves skin clarity and tone. It's fragrance-free, which is important to note to your client. And so that's really nice. And then nut-free, soy-free, gluten-free, and vegan. And I really love that we have clinical results. So this is actually in the charcoal skincare training guide that I also posted in our files section. You can print that off and have it available at your socials, but they actually did clinical trials on female subjects after using twice a week for 2 weeks. And those are the results at the bottom of this screen. So I really like that we have clinicals for this, and we also have clinicals for our rejuvenating collection. And I also have posted the clinicals for our rejuvenating collection in our files section in our team training page as well. The second new product is the charcoal cleansing bar, and this is the best seller. So you'll see in the US, it's not even available on their website right now. So we actually have a leg up, which is great. And it's $30. And a lot of consultants in the US have had great success with doling out some samples of this bar. I think that's a great idea, but I also think just posting about doing a bulk order is also helpful. But if someone is on the fence, cutting up a bar, I guess the tip is to warm it up in the microwave for about 10 seconds, and then use a soft knife to cut it into pieces, and then put it in a Ziploc baggie and send it out to the person that wants the sample. It seems like a great idea, and I know that there's been a ton of success with that in the US. So you might want to try that if people are hesitant about trying it, but also let them know what a bestseller it is, and they might not actually have a chance to order it if you're just sending them a sample, because I know it's going to sell out. So performance and selling tips. It deeply cleanses and detoxifies. It's got, I don't even know how to say that word, but I think it's good, charcoal powder with witch hazel, which helps to purify and balance the skin. Unscented, which is important. My husband, I got some contraband soap for him from the US, this charcoal soap, and he has been dying for this day to come back because he loves this charcoal soap so much. It helps to refine pores, no synthetic dyes, which is important to note. A lot of bar soaps out there do have synthetic dyes and fragrance in them. Nourishing with organic sunflower and coconut oils and pure essential oils. Absorbs impurities for smoother, brighter, healthier looking skin. And then it's nut-free, soy-free, gluten-free, non-GMO, vegan, and palm-free. So that's awesome. Okay, so we wanted to talk a little bit about the trip incentive. And I know that this incentive is probably super scary to a lot of you. And it doesn't have to be. So we wanted to break it down into little bite-sized tips for business building activities to focus on. So who should go for the incentive? Even if you're a brand new consultant or you have not been all that active with your consultant business, you should definitely try for the incentive. Even if you don't earn the trip, the effort you put towards trying will make your business a lot stronger. So some stats that Beautycanner head office gave to us are that previous trip earners have seen their businesses grow up to approximately 400% in the 6 months following a trip. And even those who have worked toward a trip but didn't quite achieve it experience growth, some by more than approximately 200% in the 6 months following the trip. So even if you don't earn it, the results in your business you will see tenfold, well, 200% fold following.
I'll give you a quick little, we talked about this just at our meeting as well, and I mentioned it to Beth and Adina that I would sort of give this as an example. In my previous business, I was probably about a year and a half in, and I've never been in sales, never knew what incentive trips really were, what you needed to do to actually try to achieve them. And we were 90% of the way through this 6-month incentive trip. And I texted my upline at the time. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like 20,000 points away. Like, I think I can do this with 1 month left, right? And I, like not knowing exactly like what it meant to get another 20,000 points. And it was funny because I was so naive but so positive about it that like it was like possible, right? And I think that was what was funny about it was because I missed it by about 15,000 points. I said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna strategize this time, like really strategize this time, and I'm not gonna miss another trip going forward. And I never did, and it was. So that pushed me into something that I would have never done or challenged myself that I would never done if I sort of started looking at numbers and started looking at the points and reward system and said, oh, if I really put the effort into it, I think this is what could result, right? So, but it was funny at the time because I'm like, oh my God, I think I could do this. And not realizing that really like how far I really, really was. But I was shooting for it anyways. Thinking that I was going to earn it anyways. So,
well, that's true. You didn't miss any trips after that, but just the activity. Hey, you got 5,000 points. It sounds
exactly.
Like. But it's true. I remember missing a trip too, back when I was doing my other business, and I was $3,000 short, and it drove me nuts. And I hadn't planned ahead enough. I hadn't booked enough events. I kind of just assumed that all of my events would stay, so I didn't overbook any events. So I learned a lesson too in planning and reverse engineering my goals. So we're going to talk about that a little bit in a minute. But first, I wanted Adina to kind of go through one of the ways that you can earn this trip incentive.
Awesome. So I too, at our last company, learned a lot by going for going for trips, and it does require some planning, but broken down, it is very, very doable. But as Claudia had said, perhaps not in a kind of winging it way, but just but just knowing in advance, and it definitely is possible. And what I like about what Beauty Counter has done for us is they've actually broken down, like, this is what the path looks like. So for most of us, it would be looking at option A, and they've pretty much laid it out for us to how getting that 100 points can look. And again, it can be, you can mix and match and whatever, but this is a great starting point to set as your goal. So there's two components to the trip, as we know. So one is the selling and the other is recruiting, and well, I guess three is promoting. So to earn 20 points, you would need to sell 3,000 QV in June and then 3,000 QV in July. And one thing to note about that is it's QV, and so not PV. So that's, if you're doing that in retail, it would be around 3,500 retail. So just to keep an eye out on that. And the other thing is, when you're selling that much, you're also getting your personal sales bonus, which is pretty cool. And then the other component is recruitment and inviting and sharing people to this awesome opportunity we have. There's a maximum of 50 points that you can get from sponsoring 7 people, and those would be personally sponsoring them, so they'd be on your level 1, and they would have at least 500 QV in their enrollment month. So whether that be they sign up at 85 and then sell some, or more easily they sign up and get, say, the middle starter kit, that would get you, that would count towards the points. And what I like about these first two components are there's something that you have direct control over, because we each have control over our own activity, in terms of what Claudia was saying, in terms of reaching out to people on a very consistent basis. And so the selling component and the recruitment is actually something that we can control, because we can reverse engineer our goals, which I'm sure Beth will talk about on the next slide. So that's 20 points from selling, 50 points from sponsoring. If you do that activity, the selling and the recruitment, you will naturally fall into promoting to director in June. And that would give you another 10 points. And then when you continue this activity, the result will be that you maintain your directorship in July, which is another 10 points. As a result of all of this activity, there would be promotions as well. So the other 10 points, is an example, is having 2 level 1s that you just sponsored promote to manager for the first time. I think what can be intimidating is thinking, oh my God, how can I do this? But the key is to set the goal and then just reverse it out and work on the activities. And at our team meeting on Tuesday in Vancouver, we were just talking about how there's so many incentives right now and how it kind of can feel a little bit overwhelming. But one thing to note is that the incentives actually build on each other and support each other. So for instance, if you were going for the trip, if you focus on option A, that pathway, that's going to support the other incentives that are underway, like the Dash to Director and also the Team CB incentive as well. So just breathe and focus. And what I do suggest is, get with your upline director or mentor, and they can help you break it down.
Yeah, those are great tips. Thank you, Adina.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so speaking of setting your goals. So it is really important. I think they always say a goal without a plan is just a wish. So it's important to actually break them down and look at what you need to do in order to hit your goals. So the first one is through sales. So if your goal is to achieve the 3,000 QV, and remember QV does include your own purchases as well. In order to earn 10 points for the trip, break it down into the number of socials and one-on-ones you'll need to hold. So if the average social is around 750 in sales and you do 4 socials in a month, that's approximately 3,000 in sales. So that's with 4 socials with approximately 40 people. And as we know, some will be higher and some will be lower. I've had $300 socials, I've had 500, I've had 1,500. So kind of an average. So set a goal to do, and one of them can be your own, 4 socials in the month of June and in the month of July. Also, the average one-on-one results in about $120 order. And I have actually seen this. I'm starting to do sample drop-offs and then following up with one-on-ones, and I'm seeing that it actually does work. And I've gotten at least an average 120 order. Most have been higher than that, by allowing them to sample for a day and then coming to pick up and taking their order. And then the recruiting component. So for every 10 people you speak to about the opportunity to join Beautycounter, approximately 1 to 2 will join. This is just a hard statistic. This is actually provided by the Direct Sellers Association. So it's not a stat that we pulled out of the air. You do have to talk to a lot of people to build your business. But a lot of those people are going to be at your socials. And I would say that is one of your best sources for finding consultants. So don't rule out your hosts of your socials. They're already there. They love the product. They're getting free product. And just spin it and let them know as a consultant, they can still continue to get the product at a 25% savings. They can start earning commission off of their friends. Their friends are all loving it. Why do you want to keep taking the money from them when your host could be earning the money? So I would say, I'm happy to keep coming here and making money off your friends, but you're here. Why wouldn't you just do it? It seems like a no-brainer. So just kind of being really simple about it. Money talks to a lot of people. Maybe it's the mission to them too. So they're providing safe products to their friends. So you kind of have to read your host and see if that might be something she's interested in, but you'll never know if you don't ask. So if your goal is to have 4 new people join your team, that's about 40 outreaches, which can seem like a lot, but remember again, you're going to find a lot of those at your socials. And if you're having socials, you're having activity, you're going to meet people that will end up joining your team. So I have a challenge for everyone. I want you to go behind the counter and go into training and go into training by topic and search on the word contact. Download this contact list, print it off, and write in 40 names and reach out to them, and really reach out to them. Be honest about your activity. It has a spot to make notes, whether they're a potential host, client, member, or consultant. And then room for whether you did a one-on-one appointment, a drop-off, etc. New customers from your socials that you follow up with will count too. So I also challenge you, any social that you've had lately, and I need to do this activity as well. Reach out to them and follow up. Ask how they're liking their product. Let them know about the opportunity to be a consultant. You'll need to print off 2 pages of this contact list because there's only 24 spots. We need 40. So send your results to me by July 1st, and I'm going to send you something fun. I also wanted to let you know about some upcoming corporate calls. So today at 11 a.m. Pacific, which a lot of you are in, and then I think the majority of us are also in Eastern time, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, and I know we have Susan out in Newfoundland at 3:30 p.m. her time. So it's a Start Your Summer Strong call with Regional Director of Training, Mariana Baczynski. And she's posted the invite in the Canada Facebook page, so you can go there to get the info about that. I'm sorry, Linda's asking a question. Can the group provide some suggestions on how to best tell people about the opportunity and ask? Well, I would say at your socials. Is that what you mean, Linda? Do you want to unmute yourself and clarify?
Yeah, just, I don't know, just kind of, asking in a kind of non-selly way. I don't know.
Right.
I'm not sure how to approach it, because just to hear how other people are doing it would be helpful, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Does anyone want to chime in? If not, I can take it. Okay. So what I say to people is, you're already loving the product. So if it's a customer or a host, I just say it. What I said before, you're already loving the products. It makes total sense for you to join as a consultant. You're going to earn a discount on your products. Your friends are ordering it anyhow. You're going to earn some extra income. Maybe you need some shoe money. Maybe you want to build a business. But I think just being really casual about it. And you can also share with them, I've been doing this for a couple months and I'm really impressed at how easily I'm able to earn some extra income. I'm not doing a ton of socials. It's more one-on-ones, drop-offs. It's a mix of activities. You're not out every single night. It's very flexible. and it's a consumable product. So people are loving it and they're reordering it. I don't know if Adina or Claudia have anything to add.
I think it's just in a very casual way, right? Like, I mean, it's your way, it's your business. You choose the path. We're here to support you as a, as an upline, as a mentor. And I mean, I'd love a friend to do this with me because this is so ground level that I'd hate for you to miss this opportunity. And then a year from now, you're saying, oh, I should have joined Linda, right? Like, I think that that's the kind of message that I've been sort of been able to tell people.
That's awesome. Yeah, and for me, I mean, Linda's on my team, so you've heard this, but for the benefit of others, I think during a social, sharing the 4 different ways to become involved with Beautycounter. And when it comes to the consultant opportunity, I actually break it down and I say there's 2 different types of consultants. And I say one is a brand ambassador who vibes with the mission, loves the product, enjoys 25% off discount, and shares the mission of safer with her friends and sells on the go as she feels like it. And then the other is more of what Beth and Claudia talked about, someone who is wanting to do this as a side hustle. Whether to bridge an income gap or to pay for vacation or what have you. It, as Claudia said, as you guys said, it's your thing, your way. And I just say it in that way, really casually. And when I started my other business, I share with people because they know what I used to do. I was in jewelry, and I started that business because I wanted a necklace. Like, it wasn't like a thing where I had this business plan. It was this like heavy burden and all this kind of stuff. It was like super fun. I just wanted a necklace, and it became like my full-time flexible income. Like, who you just never know who that's going to be and how you can positively impact someone's life. And so I think in I share from that perspective of I have something to give somebody. I'm not doing something to someone. I'm not trying to get something. It's like I'm sharing and offering something of great value. And when I'm from that place, it's never icky.
Yeah, exactly.
That's 100% what it is. I think you have to really own it and be so proud of it and so passionate about it that if you love, it's just like sharing a sale. When I know that there's a sale at my favorite store, I'm like, oh my God, you guys got to go down to the store now. It's on sale. Like, this is the same thing. Or if you're using another product or another brand, you'd be like, oh, this is what I use. You have to use this particular thing, right? Like, people will listen to you because they know that you're reputable in that, or that you've always been passionate about something like that, right? So that's where you have to feel it, and then it'll come out a little bit more naturally instead of coming from a place of feeling like people are doing you a favor. You're actually doing them the favor by offering this opportunity to them.
Yeah, exactly. And I really think if you aren't doing socials, getting out there and doing some are key. And just start with your own open house. Start with your sister, your brother, your friends, anyone that's close to you that you can host for. Have them host a social. Just say, listen, I know you're supportive of me. I would love if you could support my new business by having a few of your friends over. I really want to grow this area. I want to grow this into a big side hustle for myself. So I think just getting the word out and not being afraid to ask. So just track your activity and see how many people you're actually talking to as well. I think that would be helpful too.
So we have a question from chat as well. Just back to the trip incentive. It says, what happens to the points you earn if you don't make the 100 total? Of course, other than the great sales and the new team members. And that's what you get. those points go away. And then we start from fresh from the next incentive. But that's pretty much it. But I think that you'll see the growth in your business so much that you won't even think about the fact that, maybe you missed it by a mark or whatever, right?
Yeah, so exactly. Yeah. And then come this time next year, your business will be that much stronger. So try not to focus too much about earning or not earning. Just try to do some of those activities and see what the result is. And don't stress yourself out. Like, we all started from ground zero. I wasn't even thinking, like Claudia said, or like Adina said, I didn't go to a jewelry party thinking I was going to move into the world of sales. I just wanted to get out of my house because I've been breastfeeding my daughter to sleep for 10 months. I was like, woohoo, one night out. So it's amazing who you might meet at your socials who doesn't even have this in her head, but then you plant the seed. And it's not like you're evilly planting a seed. You're offering them an opportunity to have some flexible income or to go out and have fun. For me, originally it was just, I was getting out of the house and having a break from my kids. And then it turned into a lot more. I think I saw one more question. Hold on. Oh, that was thank you. Okay, you're welcome. Okay, so the upcoming corporate calls. Every week there's a weekly consultant training call that's led by Gina Murphy. Gina is our Chief Sales Officer. It's always at the very bottom of the weekly consultant newsletter. I believe we had a newsletter that came out yesterday. So you can find the information in there. You can register by Zoom, which is the same method we're using for our call today, or there will be a dial-in number available as well. And then next week, June 16th, Greg Renfrew will be doing an opportunity call. So if you do have people that are interested in joining your team or you think might be interested, go ahead and invite them to that call. Because Greg is, although she speaks very quickly on her calls, she's a very dynamic and passionate speaker. So I think an opportunity to hear from her is always great as well. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my presentation. Thank you to everyone for dialing in. You can open up your line if you do have specific questions, or you can message us privately as well.